Hello, thank you for joining me. I'm going to try and create a new character today in Path of Exile Ruthless mode, where I'm going to attempt to create a lightning-based witch, specifically using the arc skill, which, we'll see. We'll see if I can make it work or not. In order to do so, there's a few things that I need to do. I'm going to need to create a few mules with my intention of, number one, making a smoother leveling process and just having some additional sources of damage early on especially. So one of the mules I intend to create is a Templar, where I will get a Holy Flame Totem and Vitality, as those are very helpful for leveling. And then I'm also going to create, of all things, a Shadow, so that I can get Lightning Trap. You get that as soon as you get to Merveil's waypoint, and so I'm going to attempt to do that. By creating these additional mule characters, I'm also going to, fill out my flasks a little bit, hopefully get some good drops and maybe some jewelry, those types of things, so that when it comes time to actually take my witch through, I'll have some items to equip, and maybe even some movement speed boots and these types of things. So one of the things I find about Ruthless is that when you create alternate characters, or mules in this case, it's not as onerous. It's not a hassle to do it. If it's going to make progressing on your character that you want to play smoother. So it's just a little bit of extra effort that you need to put in the very beginning. And I don't mind. I've done it many times and I'm about to do it again. So I'm going to show this. And so the purpose of these videos is going to be a series of videos. Come along with me as a playthrough, see how it goes. But also, I want to try and make a case for Ruthless because I enjoy this game mode, and I think that a lot of people either don't know or don't understand what it is. I think a lot of people think that Ruthless is just a masochist mode for Path of Exile, and it really isn't. Ruthless is something where, because you don't get much, when you do get something, it means something. And that is the key to why I really enjoy this mode. So, the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to create my witch, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to get Firewall once I get past the mud flats. And then I'm going to park the witch, take Firewall, and equip it on a new Templar character, which I will use to get Holy Flame Totem, and then also Vitality. And then I will park that character and create a Shadow. Probably going to be in a separate video for the Shadow, but we'll see how it goes. And then I'll bring the Shadow up to the point where I get Lightning Trap, and then I should be good to move back to the Witch and begin playing through with the intention of using Arc and doing a lightning-based Elementalist would be the point. So let's go ahead and create this Witch here. Called her Joan of Arc. The name was already taken, so I had to use some use of underscores in order to secure this name for myself too. So the first thing you notice is that when a skill gem drops, or a support gem, when a gem drops, it makes a kind of unique sound so that you know that a gem has dropped, because that is super important in this game. If you're familiar with Diablo 2, it's kind of like a high rune. I mean, honestly, a support gem is huge. I don't know why I was killing that. Usually I just run right through. It's because I'm talking. I just run right through this zone. I'm going to get to Hillock and I'll kill him. You level up by killing Hillock, so there's no need to stop and kill everything along the way to him. Unless you want to. If you want to, maybe you'll get some drops, but I just go right and I kill Hillock. I simply forgot that because I was talking and, One of the things I like about Fireball is that you can cause Hillock to ignite. And as we've seen here, I'm going to move this to move only. I'm also going to not attack, or always attack without moving, just because I find that otherwise it can actually draw me closer to the character, which as a ranged character I don't want to be that close when I attack here. So I got another ignite off on him. He's going to die very soon. There we go.
Dead woman by now.
Pick up everything will be a theme in Ruthless, because you don't get much, so picking it up helps. But no, with that, one of the things that he dropped was your only source of movement skill, so that's certainly important. And then another wand. So I'm going to go ahead and equip that. And talk to Nessa. Talk to Bestel. So I am going to go to Tidal Island, and I'm going to get some flasks. I'm not going to get the Quicksilver Flask, because in Ruthless mode it only does 2 seconds of speed, and it doesn't recharge charges while it's in use. And I just find that it's before you know it, it's gone, and then you're waiting for it to come back up, and it's just not worth it. So at this point, I'd rather have 2 mana flasks and 3 life flasks. So that's my intention. As I play through these mules, I'm just going to go ahead and fill out some of these additional flasks. So for this leveling gem, for the witch, I'm going to go with Kinetic Bolt, which is an unconventional choice. But let me show you why I like this. When you look at the skill of Kinetic Bolt, first of all, it's not a spell, it's an attack, and it's a projectile. So it says that increases and reductions to spell damage also apply to attack damage from the skill at 200% of their value, and the projectile changes direction 5 times. And modifiers which would cause projectiles to fork instead of cause them to change direction additional times, we're not going to fork, but spell damage also increases this. So on account of that, it's starting off a skill with 200% of your damage, which is simply better than the other skills right now. Yes, Rolling Magma I do find to be a better skill after maybe level 5, maybe level 6, maybe level 4, I don't know. But for the first few levels, I like Kinetic Bolt because it's that 200% damage, and I actually tried it with both gems, and it was doing more damage until a certain point. And especially if you do find like a goat's horn, a wand with a source of flat fire damage or whatever, then Rolling Magma certainly takes the cake. But for now, I'm gonna stick with this, and just to see what we have here. It's doing 25.82 damage. Fireball would be doing 17.81, so it's already doing more damage than Fireball, and it can hit more than one enemy. So I'm going to switch that to my primary attack. I'm going to put my movement skill on my spacebar, and then we'll go through. It also helps that dual wielding, it does a little bit more damage as well for these skills, more so than if you have a shield in the offhand for now, and because we're early on, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and choose the spell damage. I'm going to go right up this part of the tree, keeping with spell damage the whole way. It will help out Kinetic Bolt, but it will also help out Rolling Magma when I switch over to that eventually. My goal early on, at least for Arc, is to utilize Elemental Overload, because skills that have dealt a critical strike in the past 8 seconds deal 40% more elemental damage with hits and ailments, and the key word there is more. So it's hard to get more damage in Ruthless. You can get increased damage quite a bit, but getting more damage is difficult without being able to use support gems until they finally drop. So the caveat for this being that critical strikes don't deal extra damage, and ailments never count as being from critical strikes. So what I have to do is crit every 8 seconds, right? And in order to keep this up. So what I think I'll also do is there's some nodes right up here that are giving increased crit chance. And if I take all 4 of these, it's going to give me 115% additional crit. And if my base crit is say 8%, I don't know if that's the case, but say 8%, then I'd be doing 16, maybe 17%, which should ensure that I crit within every 8 seconds, and then I'll be keeping Elemental Overload up. So that'll be kind of the first part, and then I'm also going to spec into lightning damage eventually, so that when Arc comes online, I'll have some extra lightning damage here. And then we'll see where we go from there. I haven't planned it all out, but my intention is to try and make it work. Another thing that I found is that I know that Arc is a little weak on single target damage, so I have a plan to try and get an additional lightning skill down the road that channels, and I'm going to see if I can utilize that as a single target damage, but we'll get there. In the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and get this witch up to the point where she can get Flame Wall, and then I'll start my next mule, which will be a Templar.
I know their stench. Just like my sisters upon the fire.
So one of the things I like about Kinetic Bolt is that it does, range damage. It hits multiple enemies. It doesn't use up a ton of mana, and it feels pretty decent. So now, in the first couple of zones, right, it won't feel so in a bit. Because it's an attack skill, one of the things is that as you level up, your chance to hit goes down, and so then you're hitting less often, which means that it's doing less damage, and that's no good. And I don't want to try and stack accuracy on a witch. That's crazy. So that's why just in the very beginning, for, you know, until I get to just past mud flats or whatever, that's generally when I'll switch it out. But for now, I'm going to utilize this. And I've had success with it, so I like this. I obviously like rolling magma more when you know, when I have Holy Flame Totem and Flame Wall and these things online too. But they won't come online until after the mud flats, so therefore this is just going to tide me through until then. So I heard the witch, I think, who attacks you with fire. She didn't attack me. She just kind of alerted to me, so that's good. I'm not going to fight her right now. She's kind of a pain and doesn't usually drop anything but gold. And Ruthless anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and move past her and get down so I can go into the tidal coast and get a flask. I would like to also level up, you know, get a little bit more damage, get something to drop, but it doesn't have to be in this zone. So one of the things that I find is that, and this is just me, it's my playstyle, I enjoy, you know, opening chests, or, you know, when there's something that you can interact with that might drop something. I generally do so because you never know if it's going to drop a skill gem. It might drop a flask, it might drop a piece of currency, whatever, like this, bound corpse. Right, I dropped a white crude bow. I don't need that, but that could have been, you know, a support gem. Could have been anything. So I just can't let it pass me by. I enjoy, because I've had things like that, you know, and in playing Diablo 2, I've had high runes drop from just, you know, opening a normal chest or breaking a barrel or something. So that's just one of the things that I'm not a speedy player. I don't really care to zoom through things, especially in Ruthless. There's no point. I'm not getting to end game, and I like playing solo self-bound, so it's not like I want to go and farm up a bunch of currency so I can, you know, sell things and then buy the things that I want. I enjoy the experience. I enjoy just getting a character to where I want to get. In this case, I'd like to get through campaign. If I can level, Orb of, this is huge. All right, Orbs of Alchemy. I've got a character in solo self-found Ruthless, a character who's in maps. I'm level 80, and I'm on tier 4 maps, and I have not used any Orbs of Alchemies on my maps because I'm just doing you know, transmutations on them right now until I get to like tier 6, and I've only got 11 Orbs of Alchemy on that character. So the fact that I have found one here is huge in Ruthless. Like that is a great drop to get, and it's exciting to see. And that's one of the things I like about this, is because, you know, an Alchemy Orb, it's always welcome, but it's not that big of a deal. But in Ruthless, it's a big deal. And if you're playing Trade League, which just to clarify, I don't think I did clarify, I am playing Trade. What happened was that I had, we gotta get this, hold on a second here. I had some characters that I had leveled up on this Trade League for Ruthless, and then I learned that when I could just buy support gems, I didn't enjoy it as much because it trivialized Ruthless to me. So if I could just trade and, you know, farm up some alks and then buy a support gem that I need for my build, it wasn't as much fun. So I decided to kind of move over to solo self-found Ruthless, and then I even tried out some hardcore and that type of stuff. But for the majority of my playthrough in Ruthless this season, I've been playing in solo self-found, and so this account that I have here, or whatever, this mode, this just regular Mirage Ruthless, I had a number of characters on there. So what I did for this playthrough that you're seeing here is I deleted everything out of the stash, and I deleted the currency and all that stuff. And the only thing that is left is some gold, because I didn't respec my character before I had to spend the gold, so I couldn't just delete it. I should have respected. I didn't think to. And then expedition. There was some expedition currencies that dropped that I just can't, you know, remove. Like it's kind of like read only, where I can't get at them, so that's fine. But yeah, I just wanted to have like a you know, normal playthrough. So here we are.
I'd almost stop believing.
I am going to take another mana flask at this point, so I have 2.
Goodbye.
I mean, I'll level up Fireball. I'm not using Fireball at this point, but if I need to, I can fall back on it. So I got spell damage and spell damage. Did I pick up anything? Okay, so I've got some gloves that I can't wear yet. Oh, I'm gonna put that elk in my snatch here. Alright, I can. Oh, I'll sell the spike anyway. Just for a wisdom scroll fragment. I'll wear these gloves once I hit level 5. I find some better ones. But yeah, so essentially this, you know, I prefer to play solo self-found and Ruthless just because you can't find an easy way to get the things that you need, so you have to just kind of work with what you're getting, and that makes it more fun for me to overcome those challenges. Another thing is that solo self-found, when you find stuff that isn't suitable for the character that you're currently using, say I found a good, you know, rare axe, right, and I'm not playing a melee build, but you know what, it could make me want to roll a melee build and try that out, or I find a couple support gems that another character could utilize, then that makes it like maybe it's time to roll a different one and have fun with it. So I like seeing what I can come up with and what drops for me, you know, as opposed to trading. I did enjoy trading when I was first playing Ruthless this season, and I realized that like pretty much all support gems sell for 1 elk, and you can find whatever you want, right? So I was playing a cold dot build, and I wanted to get, you know, like efficacy or cruelty, you know, these types of things, and I was able to get them, right? You know, a couple of elks, and you know, by the time I had like 4 elks, I got like 4 different support. Like, your power goes up so much at that point. And though the day that I did that, I felt great, and I even commented to my wife saying, "Wow, that playing it in this way is great because I can actually get the things." But by the next day, the fun had worn off, because now it was like playing regular Path of Exile, right? Because I had access to the supports. It just took a little bit of currency to get them, and it was just a waiting game until like another elk dropped, and then I could buy another support gem or something. And that wasn't as fun. So I decided that I like playing. So even though I'm playing on just, you know, whatever SSF Ruthless, or sorry, just Ruthless Mirage League right now, I'm treating this as SSF, just for clarification here. So another thing that you find, had a leg there. Another thing that you find with Ruthless is that when you're in town, and if you like switch out your flask, or if you, you know, if you go to town and your flasks aren't full, they're not filling up unless you talk to Nessa. The just heading to town with a flask will not by default fill your flask. And these are things that sometimes I forget, and then I get back out into the field only to find out that I don't have the flask charges available that I thought I had. So these enemies that we're seeing here, they come in, they kind of stab you and cause you to bleed and this type of thing. They're part of the League mechanic, and the League mechanic for Mirage League is that it spawns kind of a portal where there's like a, you know, a djinn or whatever that you have to go and free or something. And part of the League mechanic is that you go into the Mirage, where you can interact with it, but it also does spawn these additional enemies out here, so it can get a little hairy, where you've got the regular enemies that are in the zone, but then you have the additional Mirage enemies. And it's only in the very beginning when this is an issue, because it gets trivial quite quickly once you start to get a little bit of power. But I find that when you're first starting off a character, especially in Ruthless, oh my gosh, you get to the mudflats, and you've got the Roas trying to stun lock you to death. You've got these whatever servants of rot spawning these flies and these bubbles of trash that try to take you out. What are they called? Conjurers of rot, right? And then you've got, so here's a rare zombie moving towards me.
I need more mana.
Yes, I do. So I'm going to try and use Fireball on him, because I'm hoping to ignite him. There we go. So we'll take him down a little bit quicker, because I'm just not doing a lot of damage. There we go. Oh, good. And he dropped something that will ultimately sell for a chromatic orb, which they're very important. And Ruthless, like, don't ever think that currency is common. It's not. And if you have an opportunity to pick up something that will translate into an orb, do it. Please do. Level up Kinetic Bolt here.
Finally.
So let's see what we have.
Make your wish.
So these different things here, sometimes it'll be like a, you know, one of them might offer a unique weapon or a unique armor. And so I advise always checking them because you never know what's in there. Sometimes, you know, if you want to get some XP, you'll get 50% experience gain. Or in Ruthless, a lot of times in normal it'll say like, you know, breaking the astral chain in the Mirage will reward rare boots, right? In Ruthless, forget about the rare. It's just will reward boots, and chances are they're going to be white, right? I'm going to do this one just because maybe they're blue and maybe they have movement speed. So I don't mind at least, you know, checking it out to see if there's some blue boots. But before I do, I'm going to kill these.
I think this ray class will serve.
So I just had another life flask drop, which is nice. Now I just want to confirm that my yeah, okay, it's my item filters is being used. All right, so let's go in here. This is the Mirage mechanic. It's essentially just the same zone that you were just in, but things could be a little bit different. And it has these additional mobs. Including these annoying Conjurers of Rot. So let's see what kind of boots drop. Ooh! So I've customized the loot filter so that it's like a divine orb when magic boots... Oh, they're identified, unfortunately, and they do not have movement speed on them. So that's disappointing. It's nice that they're identified, because then I didn't have to do it myself, but it's just got 4 to energy shield. So I'll still wear them, because I didn't have any boots. But the hope is always that there's going to be movement speed boots. Right, that's the funny thing is that when you have an interactable like that, because I hadn't picked that up yet before going into the Mirage, picking it up in the Mirage counts. Like it's now in my inventory, and if I click on that again in the regular zone once I exit the Mirage, it won't be there because I already have picked it up. So it's kind of funny. Another thing that I found is in Act 6, if you go and do the Twilight Strand. Normally you have to clear the entire zone of enemies, and then that completes the quest for Lily or whatever, and then you can start buying gems from her. In this case, you can't ever buy gems from her, so that's not the reason, but I don't know, she gives you like a, you know, refund points or whatever. So I still find myself doing it even in Ruthless, and one of the things that is funny is if you go into a Mirage during that zone, once you kill all the enemies in the Mirage, that's enough to satisfy the fact that you've cleared the zone, and you don't ever even have to go and you know, kill the guy at the end or whatever, kill any farther enemies in there. So I think that's just an oversight on their part, but it works out quite well. There we go, another mana flask. That's great. Another one of these. Great, a rare one. I'm gonna kill this guy first, because otherwise he'll try and shotgun me. Go. So these guys, they try and get all crafty on you, and, like, float through you. If you start to face them one direction, they go behind you, and if you face them in the other direction. So I'm gonna try, see if I can get them with fireballs.
I need more mana.
It's just not worth it. It's not even worth trying to fight him. It's going to take forever. No,
Live
just
to
no.
fight another day.
Look, there's still these flies. I hate them. I hate them so much. As far as I know, they don't drop anything. Like, maybe they drop something. I don't recall. See, that was the one that I picked up inside the Mirage there, and now it's empty out here. Get all these Roas before they can get me. Some zombies. Pick up this armor. There have not been a lot of drops. Alright, so now I'm good to leave the zone and go get my flame wall. And then I can start with my first, oops. Start with my first mule. I might come across the poison Roa, who is absolutely terrifying on hardcore if you're playing a melee character. Yeah, here he is. I mean, he's almost halfway gone already. There we go. So he's not too bad right now, but yeah, in melee I find this guy to be a pain. There we go. Take the cap. Right, I didn't mean to click on the audio thing there, so it's just reciting whatever. Pick up the axe, and it's going to sell all these for fragments of wisdom scrolls, because you know even they're hard to come by at first. Now, what you find is that once you get past whatever, once you get to the Merveil's waypoint, I forget the name of it, but just in the caverns before you get to Merveil, that waypoint will actually allow you to then utilize Nessa in town, where she will identify things for you free of charge. So it's kind of like Deckard Cain in Diablo 2, where how he just IDs all the stuff for you for free. I mean, you're still, when you're out on the field, you're welcome to, you know, use a scroll to identify it, but POE put that in, I don't know when it was, a year ago or so. I think it was sometime around after Path of Exile 2 came out, and it used to be that in Ruthless, like, even getting a wisdom scroll was a big deal, because you couldn't identify stuff unless you had wisdom scrolls, and you couldn't get additional orbs, like, of whatever, like you couldn't get any of the orbs that you needed just by selling unidentified things. They only give you scraps of wisdom scrolls. So, for example, selling, you know, even a blue item unidentified right now, if I was to sell that to Nessa, right? Oh, well, sorry, that's different, because I didn't realize that it's a chromatic. And I don't have any other blue items. But essentially, it would just be scrolls or wisdom scroll fragments or whatever. So what you need to do is identify the items, and then you can start to get transmutation shards, which eventually you get, you know, 1 or 2, and then once you get 20 of them, that makes an orb, and they're hard to come by. So you want to definitely do that. I'm going to go ahead and sell a lot of these white things. Sell these mats, I'll sell this shield, and I'm going to sell this for the chromatic orb.
God hasn't abandoned
Now
us.
I'm going to update my flask, because that dropped on me, which was nice. Goes away. And see how it's empty right now, right? So I'm going to talk to Nessa, and then it fills up. And there we go. Oh, Tarksley's just going to... Oh, yeah. He's going to give me...
Now that you've drained that passage,
Flame Wall. So I'm going to take Flame Wall.
you've got to stay sharp out there.
So I'll put my points on my character. But now I'm going to park this character for a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of its items. And when I create the Templar next, I'm just going to go ahead and equip all of this stuff. Oh, I found an amulet. I didn't even realize that an amulet dropped, so that's always nice. A little bit of health regen. I won't be able to use these flasks at the very beginning. I'm just going to put these there too. And flame wall. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a Templar as my first mule. A Ruthless Templar.
You swore sinew and soul to serve God
call him
and the Order of the Templar.
Temp of Arc.
For
We
years,
got an arc theme going on here. And yeah, I'm going to go kill Hillock. I'm going to take Rolling Magma. And then he's going to use Rolling Magma. I mean, I still might use whatever Kinetic Bolt for like a level or two, and then switch over to Rolling Magma. And then by the time I go back to the Witch, I'll be using Rolling Magma. Now, hopefully some goat's horns will drop with the flat fire damage. I don't know what's going on here. Alright, I keep forgetting what zone I'm in, and I'm going to attack enemies. No need to attack enemies, and always move without attacking. So, creating a mule, there's a spreadsheet that's available, and it's mostly up to date. There's a few changes, like you used to be able to get convocation once you got to a certain level as a witch, but you can't do that anymore. Now you have to use one of your like cut gems to get it. But for the most part, what the spreadsheet shows is, depending on what class you're playing, at the various milestones, it shows which skills become available. And so then you can kind of plan out what you want to go and what you want to get, who you want to mule to maybe get one of those things. So I was, and when I was playing hardcore, I decided to do that, and I was using whatever it's, Blood and Sand or whatever the one is that gives you additional bleed. And I think that's only available on the Duelist. So I leveled up a Duelist, and then I also leveled up a Marauder, and eventually I was going with the Duelist, I was going Lacerate, and eventually even a Lacerate of Hemorrhage. I got that from the lab, and then the Marauder is just going with a Slam, like a Sunder. And I was using the same gear between them, so I was able to kind of leverage that as I kind of built each one of them up. And it was great until I got to Act 7 and died to an exploding corpse. Well, not exploding, but it dropped a unique, and so I moved in to grab it, because I was doing Lacerate, so you stand a little bit of ways when you're lacerating, and I moved in to grab the unique, and then a Chaos, I don't know, flower kind of blossomed right there and just took me right out. And I know it was Chaos because my energy shield was intact, but my life was gone. And that was the end of that character. If you die in hardcore Ruthless, you don't go to a normal league, or at least it's all self-found. You don't go to a normal league. That character's gone, and all of their gear is gone. So unfortunately, because I was leveling up two characters at the same time, and sharing the gear between them, I've now got my I've now got my Marauder, my Juggernaut, unable to kind of progress until I get him some more gear again. So yeah, but you know, hardcore was just an extra challenge that I wanted to try.
I know you. Lion Eyes what? Take care.
I like it because everything's even more meaningful. Like Ruthless makes everything meaningful. Hardcore makes everything even more meaningful. But it really becomes meaningful when you lose all that hard work. So I am going for Rolling Magma.
Stay sharp out there.
I'm going to sell some stuff with Nessa here. What did I get? I got a scepter. Don't need that. Don't need a bow. So yeah, here's an example. If I sell the bow unidentified, it only gives me 2 scroll fragments, right? So you don't want to do that unless you need scroll fragments, obviously. But if you identify this, it's going to give you 1 to 2 transmutation shards. So that's what I'd rather do. So what I'm going to do,
While we live, we are blessed.
so on one of my tabs here, I'm just going to start parking all of my blue items until I reach that waypoint where it unlocks Nessa being able to ID the stuff for free. Then I will, mass ID all the stuff and then keep or sell it depending on what it has. All right, so I'm going to go into the gear that I parked, and I'm going to start equipping all of the stuff that I had on my witch just a few moments ago. With the exception of these, because I'm not high enough level. I'll just go ahead and put the scrolls here. I will have that eventually. Wand. And another wand. Alright, so I don't think I have any... yes, I have a mana flask. I thought I found one. Okay. So that's good. I'm using Kinetic Bolt. I don't need Fireball now. Put Rolling Magma in his place. Arc Fireball. I definitely don't want Holy Strike anymore. I've already got a movement one, so I'm just going to go ahead and sell all these 3
Yes?
for 3 scroll fragments.
Take care.
I will equip Flame Wall when I reach the appropriate level to do so. And with this, I'm just going to go with increased damage. Alright, and I think I'll stick with Kinetic Bolt initially. And let me show you what I've got here. So Kinetic Bolt right now is doing 28.41 damage per second, whereas Rolling Magma is only doing 20.52. So currently, I'm better off using this, but there will come a time when that quickly changes. So that's why usually for the first zone or two, I use Kinetic Bolt.
My nightmares, they were prophecy.
I do love his Scottish accent. Makes leveling with a Templar very enjoyable. So in Ruthless, I don't worry about over leveling. When you're playing like a regular league in POE, like you rush through a lot of these zones and you just kill like whatever monsters are kind of right in your way so that you're not over leveling and stuff. But that's not the objective here. I'm not trying to get the maps. I'm not trying to, do anything quick. So I'll kill what I can and, take the experience and possible drops too, which are always nice. You have to essentially be about 10 levels over leveled before you start to feel that you're not getting any experience. Until then, it still feels fine. So, whether I'm playing Ruthless or playing Hardcore, or especially playing Hardcore Ruthless, over leveling is actually a strategy. That's just part of what you do. So there's another Chromatic Orb, which is awesome. Oh, it's only a Chromatic Orb. Why are you excited? Because, believe me, there will come a time when you are trying to, you find a 4-link and you've actually got a couple support gems and you're trying to roll the right sockets and you can burn through 30 or 40 Chromatic Orbs just trying to get that one piece of gear, and unless you've been picking those things up, you don't have them and you can't get them. I mean, you can trade with the vendors, but you have to have the other currencies to trade and they don't drop very often either, so... yeah, that's why I like the loot filter. I like being able to identify when there's a Chromatic Orb, so that I can always pick them up. Now, I do find that the default loot filter, once you get to a certain level, it stops even marking a lot of the chromatics for you, which I don't agree with. I think they should always mark them, and I might have to customize that. So here I am fighting Fire Fury. I have died to this character many times before, but with Kinetic Bolt, it doesn't feel that bad, to be honest. Keep sidestepping so you're not getting the Firestorm on you, and just keep shooting. There you go. See, she always only drops gold in Ruthless. It's hardly worth your while. I wasn't looking for her. I just happened to come across her, so that's why I killed her there. When I'm playing Hardcore, I try to avoid her. Between her and the Poison Roa in the next zone, they can be a quick end to your Hardcore character. Well, just Roas can in general, because they can stun lock you if you're not ready for it, and if you're playing melee. I have leveled up again, and what am I going to go with here? I'm going to go with increased damage again. Alright, so I'm going to go down to the Tidal Island again. I'm going to kill Hail Rake. I'm going to get another flask. I'm not going to get a Quicksilver flask. I don't care about the movement speed. 2 seconds. Give me a medium life flask. That's even better. Because keep in mind, the vendor recipes do work to uptrade, 3 of a lower flask to get 1 of the next one, or even if you combine them, you might even be able to get whatever the hybrid flask. I don't use those, but that might be possible too. But you end up making a few mules, and you get your initial like 2 life and 1 mana flasks, and then you do that 3 or 4 times for different characters, and then for you can upgrade them, and you've got some medium mana flasks and medium life flasks, and if you do enough of those over time, or if you find some and pick them up or whatever, then you can start making them large flasks or whatever. So I just find that it just makes your life easier when you have access to the flasks when you need them, instead of like 1 measly small mana flask at the beginning. It's not enough. Once you get clarity going or whatever, you got some increased mana regeneration and stuff, like, okay, fine. But even by that point, usually you've got more access to more mana. You don't have like 87 mana is what I've got right now. One of the differences in Ruthless 2 for flasks is that they simply don't replenish while they're in use. So for example, you can like automate your take a jade flask and take a granite flask, and you can get instant access to 1500 evasion, 1500 armor, and then you can even roll to increase that by up to 40 some odd % or whatever too, right? And then you can kind of use instilling orbs to get those that they're kind of like, as soon as they're full, they reapply the buff and whatnot. So it's always kind of automating the flask usage. But part of what makes that work is as you're killing enemies while they're in use, they still fill back up, and then you're able to kind of perpetually use them as long as you've got enemies to kill. But in Ruthless, if they were active for 6 seconds, during that 6 seconds, none of the charges will replenish. So it's only once it's empty that it will replenish again, or once the effect is off, it'll replenish again. So that kind of makes it so that automating the flasks isn't as useful in Ruthless. That being said, I still think that having a granite flask or having a jade flask, when you're if you want to manually trigger those so that when you're fighting something you want to get that extra defense or whatever, you can certainly do so. But at the very beginning, the only flasks I'm concerned were their life and mana, and I like 3 life, 2 mana. That's just what feels comfortable for me. I don't really care about the Quicksilver flask, especially in Ruthless. I don't use it that much in normal Pathfinder, so I'm really lagging right now. Sorry. I'm not a fast player. When a season starts on a Friday, if I'm in maps by Sunday night, I've actually done quite well, as far as I'm concerned, because it takes me a couple of days to get there. And then even once I get into maps, I just get restless and I want to try something different. I want to roll a new character or whatever, so I just don't generally, do a lot of the real endgame stuff, the bossing and whatnot. In 2019, I've been playing PoE since 2018. In 2019, during Blight League, I beat Uber Elder. I was playing a minion Necro at that point. That was when part of the thing was that you had specters, and the specters were using the whatever the guys were that you can get in slave drivers, I think, in Act 5, and they were doing massive electric damage, and you could have like 4 specters, and they were just going crazy. You had a whole army of zombies, you had all kinds of stuff, so it was quite an interesting build, and it was fun. They nerfed it all, so you couldn't do that even by the next season. But during that season, I did get, and I beat the Shaper, I beat the Elder, and then I beat the Uber Elder, and that was an achievement for me because I don't usually get to that endgame stuff. I have beat Uber at Ziri as well. I beat the Pale Council. I beat, what's her name, Karina or whatever, the what's it called? Betrayal League, whoever that boss is, I beat her. But like, since the newer stuff, I never beat Cirrus. I never was able to beat him. I got to him, but I died, and used up all the portals and wasn't able to beat him. I beat some of the other whatever guys, Drock or whatever, and those people. But yeah, ever since like the Maven and all these people, like I've never beat any of them. I don't do any of that end game stuff now. I'm not opposed to it. I just usually lose interest by the time I get there, where I just want to try something. I want to try a new build, or I want to, you know, play a different mode. I want to play hardcore. I want to play Ruthless. I want to try something else. So I don't know. We'll see. So that's one of the glyphs. I leveled up again. Let me go ahead and apply that point. I'm going to go into just elemental damage. Now, let's take a look again here. I'm going to level up my gems. Take a look, and I'm doing 30.02, but now this is rolling magma is up to 26. So by the time I'm done with this zone, I'll pretty much be ready to switch over to rolling magma, which tends to do better after that. I'm still hoping to find a goat's horn.
The path becomes clearer with each bloody step.
I do like that
I
flat
am
fire
no
damage.
beast of burden.
What have I picked up? Oh, I've still got the medicine chest. I forgot to go back. Okay. Well, I don't have to pick up any of the white items. Now, what we see here, number one, you can see the league mechanic triangle kind of down. I think I'm recording my cursor, so it's just kind of down below and to the right of my character on the little mini map there. But then just over, you can see an essence, right? That little whatever. So we've got this essence, and one of the benefits of this league mechanic is that if there's an essence that spawns within its range, right, you can do the essence normally and also do it inside of the league mechanic, and so you actually get double the essence. And I find that early on, especially in Ruthless, oh my gosh, having access to essences is spectacular, because you can roll something to rare, and you know, if you need a, you know, you find a cold resist ring and you roll it, and then you also get fire resist on it or something, like it's awesome. So being able to just, you know, throw some essences on some items really early, I think is awesome. And I'm always eager to get more essences. I don't ever feel like, oh, I've got enough, because even the trash ones, you know, the ones I'll give you whatever 5 to 14 life or whatever, but you don't have to roll it for life. Just roll it to make something rare. Who knows what other you know, modifiers you're going to get on it. It's just worthwhile. See, this is the garbage of the league mechanic, is when it just spams you with these trash mobs that are magic or rare, and they just are so aggressive, and like, it's not threatening, like I'm taking them out, but it just makes everything a little bit slower. And Glassblower's Bauble, that's huge, right? You could get to maps and have, you know, maybe 3 of those. They do not spawn very often. Most of the currencies do not spawn very often in Ruthless. So whenever something drops, it's a delight. It really is a pleasant sensation to hear, you know, that noise. That dopamine, I think, doubles in Ruthless, because it's going to have a more meaningful impact, right? Which is great.
Can you finally?
So what do we got here?
Choose what
We
you
got
wish.
currency, helmets. I'm not going to run this. Oh, I will. Sorry, I will run it because of the essence, but I need to get to the next zone first, get to the waypoint, and then I'll come back and do that, because I need to clean up my inventory. One of the things in the Mirage mechanic is that you can't open up a town portal in it. Although in Ruthless, I mean, at the beginning, what have I got? I've got 6 town portals. I wouldn't open one anyway. That's why I'm not opening one right now to clean up my inventory. I'm just waiting until I get to a waypoint, and then I'll come back. But yeah, you can't spawn them inside of the Mirage mechanics.
I I'd almost stopped believing.
Alright, so I'm going to take a life flask now. I took a mana
While
flask
we
on the
live,
other one.
We are blessed.
So,
Tarkleys should give me
now that you've
gem, which I'm going to use Holy Flame Totem.
got a job for you, stay sharp out there.
And then I got some blue items, so I'm just going to put them in my thing until I'm ready to ID them. And then evasion and energy shield, or armor and energy shield. I like armor and energy shield. Alright, so I'll sell all these. I'll sell this and this. Equip that. I think that if I go back here now, yes, I can use my better mana flasks. Oh, I don't have enough. Well, hold on. I got for life flasks. You know what? I'm going to take 2 of these life flasks. I'm going to take one of the existing ones that I'm using.
Hello.
And I'm going to sell them to Nessa. Then that gave me an additional life flask. I'm going to sell all this trash. Oh, one of the things was a chromatic. I forgot about that. That's good.
Goodbye.
Okay, I'm going to put that away. I'm going to talk to Nessa again.
Hello.
Just to fill up the flask. Alright. And then I'll apply my points here. With elemental damage. Now, I've got Flame Wall. And I've got Holy Flame Totem. I think that I'll be switching over at this point. So what is this doing? This is doing 28.2. It's doing 30. So I'm already at the point now where Kinetic Bolt is useless. I mean, it's possible that Kinetic Bolt is always useless, but as I said, I've been looking at the damage, and the damage at the very beginning, because of that 200%, it is higher. But it's that the more you level up, the more your accuracy goes down, and because of that, the damage goes down. But that's when I find I switch it over at that point to Rolling Magma. So now, Magma is going to be my primary skill. I'm going to make sure that I always attack without moving. I'm going to put Flame Wall here, Holy Totem here, and this. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back to Submerged Passage, and then go back into the Mud Flats. Oops, it's up here. Because providing the zone hasn't despawned yet, which I don't think it has. I wasn't that slow. Yeah, here we go. So now I'm going to do the Essence, and then I will also go into the Mirage mechanic and also do the Essence again there. So this is doing, it's lightning and shock resistant, extra fire damage, and exposure. Alright, so I'm going to hit it twice. I'm going to put my totem down, my wall, and hit it once more. There we go. Alright, so now I will go down and do the Mirage mechanic. What do we got? We got helmets, more currency. I like that idea. The problem with these, if you look at the wording, it says that, you know, more currency, 100% more currency. Doesn't mean that you're going to get 100% more currency. It's that it's more likely, 100% more likely that if something drops, it'll be currency. Unfortunately, if it doesn't drop, it's 100% of 0 is still 0. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. That doesn't mean like, oh, I'm gonna do this Mirage and I should get some currency. Not necessarily. Maybe though. Maybe. Chromatic Orb. Indirect currency because I'm gonna have to sell that item to get it. But, all right, and I realize that I'm in here to ultimately do the Essence, but I might as well do these other things while I'm here. These guys are slowing me. I don't know if they're chilling me or what, but it's quite annoying. Ugh. Yeah, it's this thing. Cold, chill, and free. Oh, yeah. Ugh. Even these Astral Worm of the Ice. chilling me in here. Okay, so you have to move before you get shotgunned by those things. This one's rare, but I'm doing damage to it. Good, good. Alright, this is the last guy before I should be able to get my silver vision cache.
My mana is spent.
What's in here? Nothing, but I'll take the blues. What we're seeing here is this is an example of the 100% more currency. I will level these up to level 4 because that's around the level where my witch is, and I won't level them up past that because I want the witch to be able to use these skill gems when I go back over to her. So this is just a mule. That's also one of my strategies sometimes when playing Ruthless. If I find a support gem, because say a support gem starts out with, you know, 15% more damage or 20% more damage, whatever it is, even at level 1, that's a huge boost. So sometimes I will just keep it at level 1 because I don't know if I'm going to keep playing that character, and maybe that support gem would be more useful on another character. So until I'm kind of ready to commit, I don't level them up. Which might be stupid because I'm just wasting the power. But it keeps my options open. You know, I mean, if I'm, you know, leveling up something and you know, quite advanced in my levels and I'm enjoying that build, then sure, I'll start leveling up the support gems too. But in the beginning, you know, up until like level 20 to 30 or whatever, I might just hold off and leave them at their default value because it's still giving me a huge boost in power.
Fight like a dickhead.
Alright, so whatever I just found here, found some blues. I'm going to put them away. This is, I like this helm better. And then I will put my essences away here. I'll sell these to Nessa.
While we live, we are blessed.
Right, and now I'll go back to the submerged passage. So yes, I'm going to take this character to killing Brutus so I can get Vitality. That's the objective of this mule, was to get Holy Flame Totem and Vitality. And, I mean, the Totem is just... I mean, it speaks for itself. Like, that just makes leveling so much smoother.
Ready yourself.
What do we got
Make your
here?
wish.
Helmets. Rarity of items. I mean, that can be good too. It's I never I never diminish the benefit of having increased item rarity. Certainly in this, I mean, if you can find actually more rares and sometimes uniques, like it's huge, right? But so just having a Mirage where it's 80% more, that's great. But right now, this is not that important to me. Another chromatic. It's been generous with the chromatics in this playthrough. I mean, I'd trade them all for some movement speed boots. If I could. So this, players in Mirage area have Echoing Shrine and Divine Shrine. That makes you invincible. And when you're playing hardcore, this is actually a lot of fun. Because then you essentially can play without worrying about... I don't want to go to level 6. I'm just going to park that for now. Alright, so I can't die here. So I'm just going to go ahead and, you know, be reckless and not worry about being surrounded by too many mobs. It's still run out of mana, so I have to manage that, but I'm invincible at this point. Picking up the skinning knife there because I intend to level up a shadow later for a little bit, and the skinning knife is a good upgrade over the base weapon, especially if you can apply an essence to it and get some, you know, flat damage, that type of thing. Ooh, a ring. That's excellent. So it's going to give me a little bit of extra mana. That's helpful. I prefer cold resist ring because when you fight Merveil, cold resist helps with her, and you can't exactly go and buy it from Nessa. In Ruthless, sometimes she will sell a ring, but it's usually very expensive, and even if you had the currency, which most often you won't, but even if you had it, it wouldn't be good to spend it on it, I don't think. Yeah, hopefully we find one. I mean, this was a magic ring, so even though it's a mana's the implicit on it, it could be that there's a cold resist on it. I'll have to see when I ID it. Might as well ID it now just so I can wear it. Well, increased mana regeneration rate. That's always nice too. And there doesn't seem to be anything else here. Let's leave this.
Zera, we do not like this.
See, and this is where, especially if you're playing hardcore, you have to be careful, because if you are in a Mirage for a little bit and you get used to being invincible, your guard might be down when you exit the Mirage. If you're not careful, bye-bye. Not that that happened to me, but I was aware that it could. See, when you don't have support gems, having multiple sources of damage actually really help out. Being able to throw that totem down. I tried to throw the flame wall. I don't know what's wrong with me. I will tap the totem, I will tap the flame wall. Sometimes they both work. Sometimes neither of them spawn. Sometimes only the totem spawns. Sometimes only the wall spawns. So I don't know. I must be doing something wrong. So if you're not familiar with why these interact nicely together, first of all, the totem just does some great damage on its own. you know, and it's independent of you. Once you spawn it, it will just keep damaging enemies and stuff, so that's great. I know that I have to go over to my left, but I was just gonna over here to open that. So let me move away so that the crab can't come and hit me. But if I look at flame wall, this is it. No, this is it. Projectiles which pass through the wall, the very bottom of the text here. It says projectiles which pass through the wall deal 3 to 5 added fire damage. And that also counts for the totem, and it counts for your projectiles. At least I think it counts for the totem. Technically I don't know that the totem's a projectile. It is projectile. It says that in the tag there. So I thought it applied for the totem too. But yes, if you can position it right, and I rarely can because I'm somewhat inept, but if you know, can pop your totem down and then throw the flame wall down, and then if the enemies were happen to be over here, they would be getting extra damage, right? And that's what it really comes down to, right? I just spawned I just pressed the button for the flame wall there. It didn't come out, just the totem came out. I don't know what I do wrong. With this guy, I learned an interesting thing earlier today. If this essence, okay, so this, because it's a unique essence, this essence always will spawn here. This is just part of the campaign now. But if you have your Mirage, so that this is actually part of your Mirage, right, it will only drop one essence. So if you do it outside of the Mirage, or if you do it inside of the Mirage, only one of them will drop an essence. The other one will not. It's just whatever the first one is that you do will drop the essence. But what I did find is that if you, what I did earlier is I killed this within the Mirage, and I dropped the essence, and then I went back out, and I thought, oh, I don't have to fight it again because it won't drop an essence anyway. However, there's no boat here. So when you kill this enemy, a boat will spawn that allows you to then leave this zone and be closer to the exit to the ledge, which is the next zone. And if you kill this in the Mirage, the boat doesn't spawn, so you have to kill it again here, even though it won't drop an essence. So I learned that valuable lesson, which is to not kill it in the Mirage, essentially. Now I've hit it twice. I'm gonna put my totem, my wall, hit it one more, and I'm almost dead. This thing doesn't mess around. Visually, I can't really see what's happening. And then that crab comes up, like as if you don't have enough to deal with without that crab there. So he's almost at half-life. This is decent. But I need to go down more. The good thing is the totem aggroes him, so that I can leverage that. We're just, you know, not just so that I can have the totem doing more damage, but the totem could be distracting him while I'm just hammering him with the rolling magma as well. There we go. And the boat. Here we go. So now if I go into this boat, it takes me up here. If I go to the right here, there should be the door exit going out to the ledge. Now, I don't like these Tide Striders because they can freeze you, and if there's a bunch of them, it can become a problem real quick. Okay, so here's the door. I can see it. I don't know if this is going to take me there. Nope. Oh, I'm chilled. It just feels so bad to be chilled. Oh, I don't want to fight that. It's too much when you have no power. Okay, so here we are on the ledge. What's I gonna say? I don't remember. good thing is that once I get through here, I get to the next zone, then I'm at the prison, get to the 2 floors of the prison, I'm at Brutus, and at Brutus I get Fatality, and then that's all that I need to do on this character. And then I'm going to roll a Shadow, so I can get Lightning Trap. I've never used Lightning Trap. I have no idea. I just read about it, and I figure for a Lightning build, having another skill that does some lightning damage, it has like 9 projectiles or something. There's actually another Lightning Trap that's something Lightning Trap Spire, but that's not available until, you know, in your level 20s of some sort. And I don't feel like leveling the Shadow all the way up to that. So what I might do, there's also one that you can get in the lab, like if you use the Divine Font, like a whatever Transfigured Gem, and there's one that does actual more damage and always crits and something else, but it has its cooldown instead of 10 seconds, or instead of 8 seconds is 2 or 10. So I might try and get that if I want to try out that trap, but I just figure coming on at level 12, Lightning Trap's available, and I thought that would be a good way to supplement my character. Now, here's an interesting fact. And I learned this by watching another YouTuber that was covering some Ruthless material, so thank you. These rocks are always in the direction of the exit to this zone. So if you happen to leave here, you go back to Lion Eye Watch, and if you linger in here, take too long, say you go and have a bathroom break or whatever, you come back, and if the ledge has respawned, so that the zone is no longer, you know, revealed to you, like the Fog of War, those little stones will always point you towards the exit, so you know what direction you should go. And I did not know that before, and I'm glad to know it now. I'm going to keep this knife for my Shadow. Actually, I'm going to sell this for a chromatic.
Goodbye.
If you look at my currency right now, I've got 1 Scroll of Wisdom. I mean, I've got 22 on my person. Some scraps, fragments, whatever. I've got a Glassblower's Bauble and an Alchemy Orb, which is spectacular, and then 4 Chromatic Orbs, which is also really good. But I don't even have a single transmute, like not even a shard, because I haven't ID'd a blue item yet to sell. Right? I will in time. But when I get to that waypoint eventually, it's just that's not going to happen until my Shadow gets there. This is the thing. So okay, I've leveled up quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and put some points in. First of all, I'll take this. I'm going to go down here and take some life. I'm going to go up here. Alright. Let's go back to the ledge. Now, the zone is still here, but if this had, you know, despawned or whatever, these rocks will always point you towards the exit. And these thin passages that you see branching off to the right, they take you to a bunch of goatmen. So unless you know, if you want to fight them, by all means. But if you're just looking to get the exit, don't ever go down those smaller passages, because they won't take you there. I was looking at these guys and I thought, man, they must be fire resistant because they're taking forever to kill. And sure enough, I looked up and they were. So you start to learn these things when mobs aren't dying as quickly as you think they should. There's usually a reason, and it's probably a resistance to the element of damage that you're doing. Oh, nice medium life flask. I will take it. More of those flies. And some Mirage mechanics close. There's a totem here that's, I think, giving these guys haste. See, one thing in early Ruthless is that you don't really have to worry about is links, because you have nothing to link. All you need is, you know, colored sockets, whether linked or not, doesn't really matter. You know, unless you're leveling up a second character and you've already found some supports or whatever, right? Or if you're lucky enough to actually find a support early on, then usually, you know, two links is all that you need. So I'm not going to kill this boss because he, in my experience in Ruthless, drops nothing. and he's just a pain in the butt to kill. Listen, buddy, 2 of us can spam fire. Oh, a large mana flask. That's nice. I will gladly take that. Alright, I was going to go by him and pretend there was never a weird statue, false god there. I don't know if you've ever gone through and gotten Onigoroshi. If you kill Uber Hillock in the first zone, you have to keep spawning Hillock until Uber Hillock spawns. And if you kill him, he drops Onigoroshi, a unique sword, and it talks to you throughout the campaign. So it has voice lines that it says at various act bosses and at just different times. It doesn't like Piety. She makes fun of Piety all the time. But yeah, she says some funny lines with that false god there too. Actually enjoyable to play through the campaign with Onigoroshi to get those extra lines. Another that's the that's the kind of person I am. Like I've already got Onigoroshi this season. I got 2 of them because essentially to get it you roll like 4 scions and you just kind of go over and over in the first zone, level up. I think each one of them was like about level 8 when it finally dropped the first time, and then I took that character into town, replaced it with another character, and then another character dropped for it too. It has a crit chance on it that goes between 8.5 to 9.5%, and the first one dropped at like 8.7 or something like that. It wasn't very good, but the second one dropped at 9.4, so almost perfect, right? So that's why I kind of stuck around and tried to get the second one. But yeah, and that's not the first time I've gotten Onigoroshi. I've got, I think it's the 3rd time, like the 3rd league in which I've gotten it. Because that's how I roll. Despite sometimes I just want to be brain dead and I want to go through the zones, and then eventually get that sword, and then it's fun to come up with a new build. I'm playing Infernal Blow with it right now, which I don't know how much Onigoroshi helps because it's really the explosion of the enemy, and I think its life really is that what matters for the explosion. So I don't know, but it feels satisfying. It's very impactful pops. And then I'm also playing a Chieftain, which the first Ascendancy thing I took also pops it as well. So there's some fun to be had there. But Onigoroshi is not available in Ruthless mode. It would make it too easy if you could just stay in the first zone until you got a 6-link sword that does some added fire damage. Because you can mitigate the fire damage that you take just by the treat, by speccing into a lot of like whatever, replenish life, and then also take vitality, take a stone golem, like whatever. There's lots of ways that you can do it, but getting that extra damage is huge. So yes, they don't allow it to be in Ruthless. It's impossible to get in Ruthless. Because number one, you can't get it through div cards because div cards don't drop in Ruthless, and it doesn't spawn. Uber Helic never spawns in Ruthless, so it's impossible to get that sword. Which I agree with, because otherwise, believe me, I would have already been just hanging out in the first zone trying to get that as for my first character anyway. One season, I don't remember when it was, a couple years back, I started the whole season. Everyone's queued in on the Friday when the season goes live, and I'm queued in, and oh. This guy's doing the poison damage. I'm just going to move past him. I queued in, and the first thing I did is I rolled the 4 characters, and I just went for Onigoroshi. And I didn't get it. That was the Friday. I didn't get it on the Friday. I don't even think I got it on the Saturday. It was like the Sunday when I finally got it. It was a horrible... I think I was like level 9. Or nearly level 9. I do think I actually got to level 9. I don't know, because I delete the characters eventually too when they go over to standard. But... it took a long time. It was a little soul crushing, to be honest. But that's how I decided to start the season, because I thought that would be funnier. Because I'm in no rush to, go and farm up a bunch of currency or whatever. Have some kind of strat to make bank. I don't care. I'm not very good at that stuff, and I'm not very knowledgeable about it. And when I've tried, even if oh well, I'm gonna get the maps and I'm just gonna farm essences, like I get the maps 3 days later than other people, right? And by that point, people have already been selling essences for 3 days. Like I'm never gonna be competitive. Now, as you can see here, it says enter the labyrinth in the Sarn encampment because, like I said, this I just cleared out this account. I cleared out my stash. I deleted the characters, so this isn't in fact a fresh start. So therefore, because I'd already unlocked this, but I'm gonna go through it as though this was my first character, just because that's what I would do. Sometimes I make this, sometimes I don't. Made it. Good. This is the guy I want to kill. Oh, crap. What's doing the damage? Something is hurting me big time. Is it this guy? There we go. Ah, there's a necromancer. There we go. I know that wasn't necessary, but for the sake of this was like a, you know, a playthrough on season start or whatever, right? That's what I would have to do, so I just wanted to do it to kind of show. Alright, I'm going to go check out the League mechanic, even though it's going to be a pain to go down there and there's going to be people throwing flies at me. I need to see what's in it, because it could be unique. It could be a cache of support gems, right? Which in Ruthless will be one support gem. But still, one support gem. That's huge. Maybe it'd be one that you could actually use for your build. You don't know. Like a unique item, a unique piece of jewelry, a unique piece of armor. Could be tabula rasa. Could be a gold rim. What is poisoning me? Is it a it's gotta be a what do you call it? Yeah, I can see him. Get at him. Blank. Oh my gosh, what? Why am I frozen? Like, get the... These stupid ass necromancers. Oh, he didn't even drop a piece of jewelry. I was hoping that he'd drop at least some jewelry.
My mana is spent.
Choose what you wish.
Nothing. Get gloves. Yeah. Well, it's gonna have to go this way anyway because there's the door. All right. What the? Okay, first of all, I'm gonna not be tempted to level up that gem because then my witch couldn't use it. I'm gonna go here and here. You know what? I am gonna do this. Might as well go for the gloves.
The battle begins.
Because that will spawn that poison arrow guy again. And maybe this time, in the Mirage, he will drop a piece of jewelry. Maybe I'll drop a gold ring. Oh, there he is. I'm gonna pull the necromancers first. Good. I can focus on Aura Green Gate. Nope, rawhide gloves, that's all he dropped. That was worth a try. Great, a rare. Why will it not spawn with totem? Is there a cooldown on the totem? Is that what it is? This guy. Let's see if I can finish this guy off. Alright. What's in this cache? Ooh, a belt. Alright, it does physical damage. Ooh. I've identified rare gloves. We got attack speed. Gain 9 life per enemy killed. That's nice. And the stun and block recovery is nice, so I'm going to take them. I'm going to put them on immediately. Now the belt. Reflects 4. So the physical damage isn't going to help us with our rolling magma. But let's take a look at this. Oh, hold on. Ooh, an orb of augmentation. That's always nice too. In my character in which I got the maps, and I had to start doing blue maps, like for the first 5 tiers of maps, making them blue. I wanted to at least roll a second stat on them because oftentimes the transmutation would only apply 1 stat, and then I would augment it with another. But I only had 22 augment orbs by the time I got to maps, and that was with like a character that was over level 75. So they do not drop that often. So I will gladly take it when they do. But what I want to do right now is show something. Holy Flame Totem, it does physical damage, and then it converts half of it to fire damage. So right now, we can see that its damage per second is 39.02. But if I put on this belt, which increases global physical damage by 21%, now I'm doing 43.39. So it's not useless. That's helpful. Even for a spell build. Look at that. You see how quickly it burned down that skeleton? That's beautiful. I realize it's somewhat negligible, but hey, I'll take every little bit. It helps. Alright. Did I already go through this whole thing? Or did I just start going in this direction? I just started going in this direction. My goodness. I'm not doing a lot of damage to these guys. There we go. I'll burn it down. I knew there was another one in here. That's so obnoxious. Constantly resummoning the same things that you've already killed. There's one tiny section down here that I haven't hit yet, and it might be empty. Alright.
You fight like a Dicara.
Yes, yes I do. Alright, let's go to the upper prison. What do we got here? Oh no. Upgraded my holy flame totem to level 6. Which probably won't be able to use it yet. That's fine. Should be able to use it soon enough. Uh-oh. These guys always try to get away from me too. That's when I like having bleed. So then you like apply puncture or whatever, right? And then what will happen is this guy like floats away. He hurts himself, which is nice. They just never end. Like you kill one and then like there's still another one around, still raising the dead back up. Like it's obnoxious is what it is. Right? Especially when you find out that you've gone the wrong way. I could have seen earlier if I'd looked at the map. And I'm bleeding. I'm actually surprised that I haven't found a goat's horn wand yet. that is part of the fun in Ruthless, is that, you know, you don't know if you're going to get that thing that's going to make your build easier to level with or whatever. So yeah, a Goathorn wand would be tremendously helpful, especially 2 of them. My goodness, I'd you know, my DPS would increase greatly, and I'd be making quicker work of all these annoying necromancers. But it hasn't dropped yet, and that's just how it is. My last playthrough, 1 dropped, 2 dropped, 3 dropped, 4 dropped. I started getting so many of them I was just vendoring them. Yes, this. So in regular Path of Exile, you open this little switch, and behold, what's there? A room with a strongbox in it that has a ton of flasks. Could be Quicksilver flasks, could be whatever flasks. However, in Ruthless, we take you inside. Yeah, that's it. Nothing. There's nothing there. Oh, that's a dead end too. I think this whole thing is a dead end. Alright, I'm not going to fight those necros then. Nice, an actual rock chromatic orb. Frozen. Come on. Oh my gosh, man. Resummoned because of these stupid necros. It's such a pain in the ass, man. Doesn't matter if you kill them. There's another one like around a corner from another room that are still reviving these things. It's so silly. Yeah, there's one. He just came out of that room. There's another one. Oh my gosh. Yes, let's have another one. Yes, why not? I understand that the door to Brutus is right there. But this, I want to see what is in here.
Make your wish.
And nothing. Alright, well, I can level up 3 times. First off, we'll go here. What else would be helpful? A little bit more life. Alright, we'll go there.
Your answer's here, heretic. In Rayclast. But I don't think you'll like it very much.
Watch, Paide's just gonna disappear. And she's gone. She gets right out here and just disappears. That's just how it is. Alright, there could be something to these. There we go. Chromatic orb was in there. See? Sorry if you're not that guy. I'm that guy. I will break these just to maybe get something. Alright. Brutus. Is he to the left or to the right? I'm going to try over here. Nope. He's over here.
Your crime is free. Your sentence is death.
Look, Brutus. The totem.
Embrace you. Let me embrace you.
There you go.
Rest now, tormented soul.
Alright, now I can go back to town and get Vitality, and that should be all for this mule. Which, admittedly, is kind of ludicrous. I always look for cold resistance. Nope. Just for the that fight with Merveil. So lightning resistance is the second best because the Act 2 boss does lightning damage if the beam hits you. So I don't mind stacking up on a little bit of it, just in case. Alright, so I've got some more blue items. I'm just going to park them. I'll sell all these.
Hello. Goodbye.
Talk to Tarkley and get my gem.
The
Take
warden's free.
Vitality.
Farewell.
Take all my gear. Alright, so I think that this is all for this video. What I'm going to do next is I will make another video where I create a shadow. And I will level that shadow up to a little bit past here where I get the lightning trap. And then I'll be ready to take my witch and see if I can make arc work as I try to level up through a Ruthless campaign. Thanks for joining me with this. And I'll have the other video out soon as well for the part 2. Like and subscribe. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.